Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go again. Episode 4 already. How quickly has that come round? It's ridiculous. Anyway, welcome everybody to Unfinished Business Podcast, episode 4, which is today. What was that?
I was going to say, who are you?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. I'll start again.
No, just.
All right, yeah. So, my name is AJ, and this is.
Who am I?
Who are you? Yeah, exactly. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Should we keep this in? Keep it in.
Keep it in. Yeah, why not? You know, you got to show everything that goes wrong. So yeah, that's obviously Ian. I'm AJ. Welcome to the Unfinished Business Podcast, episode 4. Would you believe already? And episode 4 is all to do about what is your why. So welcome everyone to episode 4. What is your why? So we've wanted to make this episode for quite a while because it is a very important thing. It follows on from what is your number, because if you don't have your number and your why, you're basically, as Ian will probably tell you a bit later on, you're rudderless ship. Good turn of phrase. So I'm going to steal it from him and use it before he uses it. So yeah, it's a very important part of the process, is finding out your why. So, Mr. Harrison, why is your why so important?
That is a very good question and a good place to start. So, the reason why, let me give you an example. People out there are looking to make some extra money, right? They're looking, whether it's a side hustle or a business, and they see something out, they think that's a brilliant idea, and they go bang, and they're straight into it. They buy a course, or they delve into making some stuff on Canva, or they start their social media and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then they suddenly realise that all the promises that are out there that we see on a daily basis are just false. Well, a lot of them are false. Not all of them. You know, disclaimer, some people have gone out there and made a lot of money very quickly, but they are very far and few between. And the majority of us all know, when you've been around this sort of stuff and you've tried to build a business, whatever it might be, it takes a lot of upfront sweat equity. When those times come where you're like, this is not what I was expecting, this is not what I signed up for, I don't know what the percentage would be. You probably say something like 95% of people will just drop out.
Yeah,
and the reason
easily
why they drop out is because they haven't sat down at the beginning and one, first of all, worked out what their number is, but the second and equally important thing is they haven't worked out their why.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why it's so important, because a why cannot be a monetary figure, as I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah, 100%.
It has to be something from deep within, like something emotional. It has to be something to do with, you know, what you want to do for your family, or the fact that, you know, you might have, you want time because you've had health issues and you suddenly realised your own mortality, and we can talk about that. It might be, you know, you've got an elderly parent that needs care, and you need to, you can't do both. You can't work and care for your parent. You know, there's so many different reasons why. And the why, once you figured it out, which you'll talk about in a minute, is the driving force that when things get tough, you go back to, because it's so strong, it will pull you through those down times. So in essence, mate, that is why the why is so important, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because you know, I see or speak to a few people that have already got businesses.
Yeah.
And they've plateaued. They've come to a ceiling, so to speak, because their why the reason why they started their business in the first place, their why was for whatever reason it is, because your why is obviously very, very individual. You cannot copy someone else's why. You will just fail immediately. It's all well and good listening. It's nice to hear what people's why is, because it will resonate. But, you know, don't copy it word for word. This is coming from your own emotional state, sort of thing. So I will speak to a business owner that have got to 10, 15, 20 years in business, and because they haven't changed their why, they've now come to a ceiling. So the whole premise around you only need one why is sort of, it has to change. You have to pivot and move, because things happen in your life when you are building something because of your why. Also, as you mentioned just a second ago, health reasons, something throws a spanner in the works that you least expect.
Yeah.
And your why has to change. You can't work on the same why all the time. And I think people get confused very quickly or from the start that they think their why is, I want to earn this amount of money in a month, rather than what their why is, because it's that the money side of it is their target and the result, and the why is what gets them to that target and that result. And I think a lot of people are getting misinformation by people that don't really know what they're talking about when people say, what is your why? They don't actually know how to follow it up with help and guidance in the right way. They just say, well, if you want to earn 10 grand a month, that's your why, run with it. And people fail. People will lose interest. People then give up. They quit because they haven't got any driving force behind them to make them get up every single day, hold themselves accountable to do it because of their why.
Yeah. I got some advice actually, AJ, mate.
Go on.
At first, when I was involved in a program just after COVID, actually, it was called SFM, run by a guy called Stu Ross. And although I'm not part of it anymore, I learned a lot through that program, and I made some really good friends across the world that we're all still in touch through it, and we all got a lot out of it. And one of the things when they were talking about your why back then was you really have to drill down, right? You can't just sit there and come up with your why in 5 seconds, for instance. You really need to sit down in a space with nothing going on, in silence, with a piece of paper. And funnily enough, you have to ask yourself over and over again, why? Yeah. So what I mean by that is, if you could sit down there and say, well, what is my why? Well, I want to spend a bit more time with my kids. Yeah, but why? Well, because they grow up so quick, or because one of them's got learning difficulties and needs more attention, or whatever it might be. And then you can get to that bit and say, well, why? Well, because one of my children has got learning difficulties. The more I can spend time with them outside of school, the more I can help them so that they'll improve. Or I want them to remember what a role model, and that I spent time with them when they were younger, so when they have kids they'll spend some time. And then you go again, why? And you just drill down. The same thing as if, I want more time. Well, why? Well, because I want to travel. Yeah, but why? Because I want to experience, because I'm interested in history, and I want to go to Malta and see all the historic, stuff from when they were fighting the Turks and blah, 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 and go to Fort St. Angus and all of this stuff. But why? Because it's interesting and and it's my passion. Oh, that's a passion. Yeah, I didn't realise how much of a passion it was. Do you know what I mean? You have to keep digging down the levels. And by asking yourself why, you will eventually find your why. And that was one of the, I know I've banged on a bit about that, but it really works.
It makes perfect sense.
It
makes
really
absolute
works.
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
There was a cartoon many years ago where one of the characters just used to go, why? But that, although it sounds irritating, it's absolutely true. If you don't keep asking yourself why you're doing what you're doing, then you bounce off, you ricochet off and go into a different world where you then end up not doing the thing that you actually want.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely spot on.
Oh, I remember my son growing up, and he was like 5, 6, 7. He used to drive me insane. Why? But why? Why can't we go there, Mummy? Why can't we go there, Dad? Why can't we? And in the end, any parent has been through this will know that in the end, you just want to absolutely throttle them, right? Because why? Shut up, right?
Uh-huh.
But all they're doing is they're just asking themselves that to get to a point of resolution where they go, oh. And that's all we've got to do here. We've got to go back to our inner child and go, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
you've got to drive yourself mad to get to the final destination, basically.
Yeah, I think as adults it's so easy for us to just see something, believe it without questioning it, go for it.
Yeah.
And this is definitely something with the online world and setting up a business and all the information overload you've got out there. Everyone seems to be a guru or something out there, and you don't question it. You just take it for granted that it's going to be instant gratification. You're going to get everything else, and then as you've said, when it gets to the tough times, if you haven't done that work and asked those questions and actually done that inner work, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, of course you're going to struggle because you've got nothing you've got nothing about yourself. You've got nothing that's going to drive you through, the days where everyone does it. It happens to everyone. You wake up and you can't be asked, But if you've got that why set in stone and in place, it doesn't matter what type of day you're having. You will still do it because that why is so personal to you and the end result is so much of a different thing that you want to achieve that no matter what happens, you're always going to push through and come out the other side of, the tough times and things like that. And so many people quit as well because they don't have that why in place.
Well, I don't think they have the correlation between their dream, their number, but also the lifestyle they want around that, right? With what it actually takes to get there. Because they haven't got their why, they've seen all they've got to do is set up this system, make that bit of content, follow that person, copy that person, and you'll get it at the end of you'll get it. There's no correlation between what it actually takes to get to that result and the amount of work and the amount of, as we know, you're all very enthusiastic, and then there's the Valley of Doom or whatever you call it.
Yeah, Valley of Despair,
In fact, Jake Humphrey put a thing up last night. It's got an official name, that. So if you follow Jake Humphrey on Instagram, have a look at his story from yesterday actually, it might be a reel. If I find it, I'll save it and repost it on the Unfinished Business Instagram.
Give that a follow, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Like, subscribe, follow.
Yeah.
Ding the bell so you get
all that plug-in.
But there's an official term for it where you get there, hey, I'm building something, and then reality hits. And when you're down there, when you hit that bit, the only thing that's going to drag you up is the people you're surrounding yourself by, drains and radiators, get around the radiators, and your why. They're the only two things that are going to get you out of it.
Yeah, your why is so... your why is your superpower for all of it. It is the thing that so many people miss that makes them quit. If you've got it, you can achieve anything because that one thing, that one belief in your head is so strong that it's never going to stop you. Nothing's going to stop you from doing it. And if anyone who's watching this podcast knows or have seen Simon Sinek, wonderful man. You can go onto YouTube and search his stuff. He's got books out and all that sort of stuff. He's got this framework that is called the Golden Circle, and it's your why, your how, and your what. Your why is your belief. So why does it matter what you are doing? Your how is the method. So how are you going to bring your belief to life? And your what is the visible result. So your visible result is you want to be living in a different country with financially free, time freedom. Your kids are, they've got a better life for themselves, no matter how old they are, whatever it is. And, you can earn money by sitting around your swimming pool in a different country sort of thing. So what people do, and they get it wrong, is they do it the other way around. They do their what first, and then their how, and then their why. So they try and think of what they actually need to do to make that money or get that lifestyle. Then they try and figure out how to get it, and then they put their why last. If you flip it and have your why first, the how and the what becomes so much easier because you've got the why like shoving you forward, so to speak. So the Golden Circle, to steal Simon Sinek's framework, to me it personally worked. And I believe it would work for everybody else that is looking to figure out what your why is. Because once you get your belief system sorted and you figure out what your why is, the how, which is your method, and the what, which is the end goal, the visible result, becomes second nature. You haven't got to worry about the steps, the bad days, the good days, whatever it is. You will get there, and you will strive to be relentless until you get it, basically.
I think he said that on one of his earliest TED Talks, wasn't it?
It was, I think that TED Talk I think it's the most viewed TED Talk of all time.
It's from about 15 years ago.
It's 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's like got 300 and something million views or something stupid like that. But it is, we could put the link to it actually inside the description
we'll put a
for
link
here.
below. But it's well worth 20 minutes looking at it. I think the other thing that comes out of that is, I think you mentioned to me when we were talking about this subject before we recorded, is that if people understand what your why is, one, you come across as more authentic because they get it, they understand it, and they're more likely to buy from you as well. So if you're doing it the normal way round, as you said with the diagram with the circle, and you're sort of starting with the result, you've got more integrity actually when you describe or you tell someone what your why is, and they can go on that journey with you.
That's part of, in theory, the whole framework of Simon Sinek's is the golden circle is people buy from people when they tell you what their why is first. Yeah. So you resonate with the fact that their why is they're doing it for their kids. They're doing it because, like you were saying earlier on, you're doing it for an elderly parent, or, you know, you're doing it to retire your other half who's relentlessly worked for 35 years non-stop, and you're doing something so they can bring them home, like make them part-time for argument's sake. That's the resonation with people and the why, and that's why people then will follow those people and know, like, trust, buy, follow them, you know, try and get in contact, become friends. And that's a good way of, in theory, getting the right people around you, because your mates and your friends and family are going to look at you thinking that you've lost the plot because your why is delusional to them. But to someone else, that's the same delusion that they have, that your why is the same, one of the reasons they want to do it. And that's when you then build a community, you build a tribe, and then you then build on from there. And once you get that sort of network around you, anything's possible then, because you get experts from all over the place and you can work together, and, you know, the dream gets bigger, so to speak. You go from like having a dream that's that big to, you know, open events and talking on stage and all that sort of stuff. So
there's one thing I would say about the why as well. Again, we've touched on this talking about it, is that your why is not fixed. It will start off as something. So I'm going to give a personal example of that. I'm single. It's not an advert, by the way. I'm very, very happy being single. I'm very happy being single. I like my life. I love my friends around me. I'm very, very rich in the people I've got around me.
That's the wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy. And yeah, it would be lovely to meet someone in the future, but let's not go down that road at the moment. So my why, I've actually got a couple of whys, are based around my situation at the moment, not from a selfish point of view, but what I want to do with the time freedom that I'm going for. Time freedom is my main one, is what I'm going to use that time for, which is to look after my aging mum. She's 81 and she's got a few ailments, and it's my time to look after her. I want to spend a bit more time with my boy, because I don't see him that often. And I want to travel. And I want to work, and I want to meet new people. I don't want to, for me, I've got mates of mine that have retired, right? And if any of them watch this, hopefully they won't, because I blocked most of them because you don't want the noise. But, and I'm doing my own thing here, and I'm proud of that, but they're not into this side of things. Some of them are just retired, and they're just, you know, they're going out riding their bikes, and they're going on 4 holidays a year if they can afford it with their pension pot and everything. But I've got other people that retired, other mates that retired, they are living. They're going out, they're experiencing new things, meeting new people, going to different places. And that's where I am about it. I want to live. I want to live. I don't want to sit here and just take it as a
waste away.
Yeah. Now, so that's my whys now. So if I do meet someone and someone important comes into my life, of course, my why will probably almost certainly change, because there's someone else to consider in that. And it's okay to change your why as you progress. And also, you might hit some of your goals. You might hit your number. And we talked about it last year. You'll have your big number, your exit number. Mm-hmm. So when you hit your break-even number, which is your 40 grand a year, if you use the example from last week, and you can make that decision to leave your job and then do this and have more time freedom, well, then your why will definitely change. So it's okay for your why to evolve with you as you go through your process. It doesn't have to be fixed. So don't get that in your head.
I think your why has to change. I think it has to change because of, obviously, if your why is to, like you were saying, if your why is to do certain things for family members and all that sort of stuff, once you then get into a position where you are able to do that, then you need another why. You've achieved that, you've achieved that why. You've got to a stage where you can look after your elderly parents, or you can afford to put them in a nice rest home or whatever it is, or you've reached your why of,
Mate, that sounds harsh. Well, the reason I want to do this is to put my parents into a home. It'll be a nice one, but it'll be a
nice one. You get breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's called prison. But anyway, but if once you achieve your why, well, once you get to your end result, your what, so to speak, so you're going back into the golden circle. So once you get to your what, your why will then progress into something else, because, it's very rare that someone gets to achieve everything that they've always wanted to do. Everything, even the billionaires and the millionaires of the world are always evolving. They're always got their fingers in more pies. They're always building something new, because once you achieve a goal and you get it to where you want to get to, you have to make that goal even bigger, or you've got to pivot, move and do something else. So that then means your why has to change. And it's like me, my why started off by being, I need to earn £500 a week because I want to have weekends back for myself. I want to have 2 days off work, because I'd worked 13 years straight of working 7 days. So my why was, I just need to make some online sales so I can have 2 days off to relax, recoup, switch off, for argument's sake, because everybody knows if you're running a business, it never really switches off.
Yeah.
And then the spanner got thrown in the works, and I had I had the health issues, the 2 seizures and all that sort of stuff. My why then changed, because, I'd already got to a stage where, when that happened, I was already earning money. So when I came out of, operations, etc., my why then had to change. So my why then became something along the lines of, I have seen and heard and listened to friends and other people struggle in their job and wanting another way out. So my why then became to, show ordinary working people that they know, in their 40s and 50s especially, that there's still choices. There's still so much life left in you to go and get whatever it is you want. Take back control of your time, your future. You don't get your day dictated to you by an office manager that's 20 years your junior and he's got a degree in something, so he's got the job better than you, or whatever it is. There's another way out. And by my how to do that was to, make it simple for people to follow. Make people understand that, there's a lot of misinformation. You need the truth.
Yeah.
My past experiences, my lived experience, my challenges that I had to go through, and, protect beginners from hype marketing and things like that, because it's very easy to blow smoke up people's arse and go, yeah, I'm going to achieve this if you do this, and they go out and do nothing. So my why is to now help and get people to a point, especially Gen X, is to make them understand that what's in here is worth way more than your job at the end of the day. So, and my what, if you want to go down that road, is obviously creating content, coaching, designing and building help guides and books and digital products, whatever it is you want to do, building a community, and now a podcast.
Yeah.
So, it's
we've got
different
stuff
fingers and different
as
pies.
well. Fingers crossed. Yeah, next year it'll be a good year, hopefully.
Exactly.
If we get enough people following us. I just do want to, I'm just conscious of time because we don't want to, go on and on, but I will labour the point. I do want to make just say one thing of caution, which is, and this could get deep, so I'm going to just touch on it, which is sometimes people confuse a why they're doing something with a purpose. And the difference really for me, and the only way I can describe this, is your purpose in life is on another level. That is like, if you like, when we're talking numbers, you've got your break even and you've got your exit strategies out there. It's the same. The reason your purpose in life is a big heading. It's what you want. It's almost like your legacy, yeah? Whereas your why is why you are doing something specific, as in building a business. It's the driving force behind that project, the reason you're doing it. So don't confuse the two. They're very, very different, and they have very, very different purposes within your life and what you do. So it's just a word of warning, don't make your purpose your why, because it's your purpose. Your purpose can be slightly broader, whereas your why has to be very specific and you've got to feel it here. You've got to feel it. It's got to have emotion with it. Yeah. So to keep you driving through those bad times, just be mindful of that when you're sitting down with your piece of paper. Just, don't ask yourself what your purpose is. Just ask why. Ask why.
Your why has to come from your heart, basically. Yeah. If your heart's empty, your head doesn't matter. No. That's what you got to think about it. And there's confusion. It's very easy to get guided by the wrong people, where, like we said earlier on, people confuse the what with their why. So they confuse their target with their why. And like you just said there, people confuse their purpose with their why. They're all completely different. We'll probably make a podcast at some point about purpose, especially just a one-off episode of that. Because it is
a long one, mate.
It will be a long one, and it is very, it is important, and it is important to us.
Gen
it's
X.
important to anyone, especially Gen X. Yeah. People that are rapidly approaching retirement.
Well, we exactly. Our lives are all changing. Our kids are growing up. People sadly get divorced. Your jobs go. There's ageism out there in the working role, and suddenly you all your purpose, or what you think your purpose is, just gone, because you've actually put your purpose into something that actually might be something like.
And health issues crop up. The older you get,
health issues, and then exactly, and then looking at retirement. So, and then you got grandkids coming in, and all this sort of stuff. This period of life, I think, is one of the most. You should be enjoying it. You should be enjoying it, but it can also be one of the most complicated and complex periods of life, with so many changes going on,
Yeah. No, I agree.
Parents aging, and unfortunately people passing away, and all that. I was going to say all that good stuff.
Well, sometimes, it depends on the person.
It's like you putting people in a home for no reason.
Yeah, fuck them.
But there we are. Anyway.
Anyway, I think that's perfect. I think what's that? End of episode 4?
End of episode 4. Yeah, I would really love to know what people's whys are.
Yeah, in the comments.
Down below, because although you might think like adding a comment is just irrelevant, if there's people out there struggling and they can see examples of why people have put whys there, it might give them the inspiration and some ideas of where to start before they start drilling down with asking themselves why.
Yeah.
And we'll also drop Simon Sinek's TED talk in the bottom there, so you can click on that link, because that's a brilliant 20 minutes of, while you're having a cup of tea. It's
absolutely
great.
Yeah. I mean, if you're driving to your job, for argument's sake, and you're listening to this podcast, also listen to Simon Sinek's podcast while you're driving as well, because you're concentrating on the words rather than actually watching him do it. But it's definitely something that you need to do. Also, what we might do, thinking about it, is in the bottom of this description somewhere, we will leave a link to a PDF of like information for everybody to go through, ask questions. It'll like run you through how to sort out your why, your what, and your how. So we can put that in the description as well at some point. We've got to build it and then put it into a PDF, but we will let everybody know. Thank you everyone for watching for episode 4. Thank you for coming back. Do us a favour by liking, subscribing, and hitting the little bell, wherever that little bell is on the screen, to get notified every time we post a new podcast and a short and anything else that we get up to, in the meantime, who knows? But yes, thank you to
Exactly.
everyone for being here in week 4, episode 4 even. And do come back for episode 5.
And episode 5 is going to be a good one, mate, because episode
Episode
5
5
is where we start diving into what you can monetize that's in your head at the moment. So there'll be some good questions to be asked there.
Bit of business.
Bit of homework.
Bit of business,
Absolutely.
bit of homework. Testing the Gen X generation on what they actually got inside their barnet.
Exactly, in their Swede. Right.
In their Swede.
Nice to see you, mate. I will see you again next week.
Yep, take care. Have a good one, everyone. And, baked potato.
Halubi.